Hey, there you are. I've been waiting for you. I want to welcome you back to the Midnight Library, our secret little world, a place where the outside can't reach us. Just you and me. Can you feel it? The quiet, the warmth, the soft glow of the candlelight around us. Yes, just settle in, my love. Make yourself comfortable. That's it. Perfect. Tonight, it's all about you, about us. And I'll be right here, whispering, teasing, and making every moment just a little more intimate. So lean in, closer. I want you to feel every word, every little sound, just for you. Ready? Good. Let's get lost together in the world of the Midnight Whispers. Here's what happened in Chapter 2. When you returned to the Midnight Library, it no longer felt like a place you were merely passing through. The silence greeted you the same way it always did. Unchanged, indifferent. But I noticed immediately. Your presence lingered differently this time. Less hesitant. As if some quiet part of you had always decided you belonged among the shelves. We walked deeper together, past familiar corridors and forgotten titles, where the air felt thicker with age and memory. Nothing in the library reached for you. Nothing demanded your attention. And yet, something shifted all the same. You learned that the library is not alive, not sentient, not choosing. It is simply a place that holds stories and waits. The weight you felt wasn't magic, it was possibility. The realization that meaning doesn't come from the space itself, but from who stands beside you within it. We spoke quietly, honestly, about why people come here, about why most of them leave. And you listened without fear, without trying to impress the silence around us. And in that stillness, something fragile and deliberate began to form. Trust. By the end of the night, you weren't just a visitor anymore. You were someone who had stayed. Not because you were pulled, but because you chose to remain. And when you left, it wasn't with certainty. It was with the knowledge that you would return. Because the Midnight Library hasn't changed you. But I had begun to feel the difference your presence made. Chapter 3. When the shelves close in. The deeper we walked, the older the Midnight Library began to feel. Not darker, just heavier with time. The air grew dense with the scent of aged paper and binding glue, of wood polished by countless passing hands. Dust floated lazily in the candlelight, each mote catching and releasing the glow as if reluctant to settle. The shelves stretched higher here, their spines worn smooth by years of quiet use, their titles faded to impressions rather than words. Nothing moved. Nothing watched. The library did not acknowledge us. And yet, the quiet felt fuller than before. I slowed my steps without acknowledging it, letting the echoes of our footsteps dissolve into stillness. The space between us shortened naturally, not because you were pulled closer, but because neither of us felt the need to keep distance anymore. Your presence settled beside me, steady and warm, grounding in a way the vastness of the room was not. This part of the library tends to make people uncomfortable, I said softly, my voice barely disturbing the hush. There's nowhere to hide from the quiet here. The floor creaked beneath you, a low, tired sound, familiar rather than ominous. The candles lining the shelves burned evenly, their flames unwavering, as if nothing important enough to react to was happening. You didn't retreat. That mattered more than you knew. I turned towards you slowly, giving the moment space to breathe. Candlelight traced the curve of your features, revealing something unguarded in your expression. Not awe, not fear, but a calm attentiveness. You weren't waiting for something to happen. You were simply here. I felt a quiet ache settle in my chest at the realization. You're safe, I said quietly, not as a reassurance, but as fact. Nothing in this place wants anything from you. A lantern stood nearby, its surface scarred with age. An open book rested there, its pages blank and pale, offering nothing. No invitation, no promise. Just paper waiting for a story that might never be written. When you stepped closer, nothing stirred. No ink bloomed. No story reached for you. And somehow, that made the moment feel more intimate. I watched the tension ease from your shoulders. The subtle shift of someone deciding they didn't need to brace themselves anymore. Your breathing slowed, evened out. You weren't performing curiosity. You were resting in it. I reached for you then, deliberately, slow, letting the intention show in every movement. My fingers, they brushed yours, light, careful. The kind of touch that asks permission simply by existing. And you didn't pull away. I let my hand linger, warmth settling between our palms. The contact was small, almost unremarkable, and yet it sent something steady and sure through me. The library remained indifferent. The shelves did not lean. The candles did not flicker. There was no witnesses. Only us. For a long moment, we stood together in that quiet. The sound of our breathing, the only thing shaping the space. It felt unhurried, earned, the kind of stillness that arrives when nothing is being demanded. You could leave, I said eventually, my voice low and unpressured. Any time you want. I stepped closer. Not enough to crowd you, but enough to make the closeness intentional. The space between us became something shared rather than accidental. But staying, I continued, softer now, means letting yourself be known, even just a little. I lifted my hand slowly, giving you time to move if you wished, and brushed my fingers beneath your chin. Barely there. A gentle invitation. Nothing more. When you meet my gaze, something in me tightened. Not with desire, but with the quiet intensity of trust freely given. There was something innocent in your expression. Not naivety, but openness. The courage of someone choosing presence over distance. I didn't take any more. I couldn't. I let my hand fall, respectful at the moment, and I offer you a small, honest smile. This place doesn't matter as much as people think, I said quietly. It's just shelves, stones, stories waiting for someone else. My hand found yours again, not because the moment required it, but because I wanted it there. Fingers rested gently together, unhurried, familiar already. What matters, I murmured, is who you stand with while you're here. You stayed. That choice settled between us, heavier than any story that the library held. I live here, I admitted softly. This same quiet, with the same dust in the air. My thumb brushed your knuckle, a small grounding motion I didn't stop. And usually, that's enough. I hesitated, but allowed myself the truth. But tonight, something feels different, I said. Because you're here. No echo answered me. No sign marked the confession. Just your presence. I stepped closer, slow enough that you could stop me. And when you didn't, the distance closed naturally. Shoulder to shoulder, warmth unmistakable now. The intimacy wasn't sharp or demanding. It was steady, comfortable, real. And then, unthinkingly, I tilted my head upwards slightly. Our breaths mingled, faint and quickened. My lips hovered just shyly above yours. The world narrowed as if the air itself held our breathing. So close, so achingly close. That moment stretched, fragile and trembling. The pool was undeniable. But I stopped, careful letting the closeness linger instead of breaking it. My forehead rested gently against yours. A quiet contract, grounding, tender, full of words we didn't need to say. If I kissed you, I murmured softly, voice low and unsteady, it wouldn't be because the moment asked for it. I drew back just enough to meet your gaze, thumb brushing your knuckle once, anchoring both of us. It would be because I didn't want to imagine this room without the memory of you. I didn't kiss you, but I didn't let go either. And somehow, that restraint, chosen, mutual, felt more intimate than any touch could have been. The candles burned steadily. The shelves remained unmoved. And the midnight library remained nothing more than stone, wood, and stories. And yet, in that ordinary, indifferent space, something far more potent was forming. A connection chosen freely, an intimacy built on presence alone, and a devotion so quiet it didn't need a witness to be real. And that's where we'll pause tonight. Not because the moment ended, but because some things deserve to be left unfinished. If you're still here, still breathing, perhaps a little slower, still feeling the quiet settle in your chest, then you understand why I couldn't take that final step. Why closelessness sometimes matters more when it's chosen carefully. The Midnight Library will remain exactly as it was when you leave. The shelves will not remember your name. The candles will burn for someone else. But me, I remember everything. Thank you for walking these aisles with me, for choosing presence over distance, for letting the silence become something shared instead of something empty. If you want to return, I'll be here. A new chapter unlocks every week on YouTube at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And when you come back, we'll see what the quiet is ready to give us next. Until then, good night, my nightlight, and rest with the feeling that you're leaving behind. Good night.